What's going on, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Push to Accelerate. I'm Frick,
And I'm FRaCK.
and this is Clint M, the Supervisor of Instruction in New York. How's it going, Clint?
I'm pretty good. How's everything going for you guys?
Pretty good. Thank you
Pretty
for
good.
asking. We're excited to have you on the podcast and hear your sort of perspective as a supervisor and someone that oversees not only the instructors but also I'm sure you have met many students, and it's a great program. So why don't we ask how you got started with GameU and sort of your background in video game design?
Sure. Well, I first started as a Accelerate instructor for GameU. I believe it was last February, actually, I started. And then from there, just was teaching, and I ended up getting a position as being a supervisor. It was pretty awesome. I'm super grateful, and it's an awesome company to work for, to be honest with you.
Absolutely, and your personality has to have something to do with it. Also, you're very outgoing, very upbeat, very infectious.
I don't want to be too, I don't want to toot my horn a little bit, but yeah, I've been told.
That's great. Well, we have a lot of people very similar to Clint that are fired up and excited about Game U and all the work that we are doing. FRaCK, do you have any questions?
Yeah. I mean, he already answered how he got the game. You right? You asked him.
Yes.
All right. Well, I thought that, but more in depth than why would you recommend people to come to Game U? Since you work here, obviously.
Oh, um, the main reason why I would recommend anyone to come to Game U is, well, to make video games.
Yeah.
No, but in all reality, well, our division, my division, the Accelerate division, we it's just awesome to see what these kids can make, kids and adults could make, whether it's a video game, whether it's a 3D model, whether it's just a simple drawing that they made for a whole day. Just
Yeah.
that sense of, oh my gosh, I made this, and like maybe with a little bit of help, or most likely what we strive for is with no help eventually. But yeah, just that self of, oh wow, I can't believe I made this. That's awesome feeling for students. That's what I always strive for. That's the main reason why I'd recommend anyone to go to Game U, so that they could feel that feeling too.
It is.
Absolutely. And as students, we experienced that too. I mean, I remember the first day of class, we would something as simple as changing the color of something, and we're like, wow, I know how to change the color of something on Unity or on
Yeah.
Unreal, and then you do it 100 times, and your instructor's like, what are you doing? Why you just keep changing the color over and over? We have to move on. But it's pretty neat,
At least that's what happened in Nick's case.
yeah, Anthony accelerated a little bit faster. No pun intended, since it is the Accelerate program. So let's ask you, Clint, if you have
Yes.
anything that you'd like to share, perhaps that you've made in the past, either by yourself or with students. Maybe you could share some work.
Yeah. I'll actually share a quick demo reel that I've made in Unity, mainly Unity.
Awesome.
They're all, I guess, derived from like either ebooks that I've read, or like videos that I watched, but made my own twist to it, of course. Um, Give me 1 second. And also, sorry to like not mention this before, but I guess my background is game development. I went to school for game design at Bloomfield College, which is in New Jersey,
Hmm.
and from there, just worked at another teaching gig, and I worked at Nick Jr. for a while, and now I've well, working for GameU.
Wow.
And actually, in between all that, I was a virtual reality contractor for this HR company, basically to develop a cardboard app, a VR cardboard app that showcases a medicine and like what it
Wow.
does inside of a body. Pretty cool.
That's really neat. I mean, I thought
That's
that.
what I wanted to hear. I was like, did we really hear about his past? I don't think so.
Yeah, he knew there was
You
more. He
said
knew
we
there was
already
more.
talked about it, but there
And
was more to talk about.
You said you don't like to toot your own horn, but we knew that you had an extensive resume, and we wanted you to share it. And we thought that Nick Jr. was awesome, but that virtual reality thing that you're talking about is really neat, and I think that's something that goes sort of by the wayside with video games and video game design. Is that not only is it fun to play video games, and you could create video games that are fun to play, but it actually helps in real life application. And there's so many things you could design with hospitals or medicine or assistive technology, and you did that, and it helps people, people's lives. So we're literally changing the world at Game U, I would say.
Yeah, it's cool to be part of this this world, this technology world, where I could say, yeah, I can help people's lives, which is it's always a phenomenal thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Stuff, man. All right, cool. So let's. The suspense is killing me. We have to.
Yes, let me turn on this. Okay. Nice. Okay. So this is I guess the demo reel that I mentioned. This is actually what I sent to Game U, and this is what helped me get hired actually. So this is made in Unity. This was roughly done like in a day or so. It's mainly to showcase night and day effect. There's a terrain that you see. That's not really what I want to show. What's really the cool thing for me is the night and day. The fact, like the code behind it. The mechanic. The fact that it takes, well, for testing purposes, I made it fast so that you can see it turning night and day. But yeah, that's really cool for this example. This one is showcasing, I guess, lighting effects and terrain. Looking back at this, actually, learning all the stuff that I now currently know, yeah, no, this is I could definitely do a lot better. This example is a maze type thing, or it was the beginning of a maze type project. I believe, yes, this was done via a ebook that I was reading, and what I want to do, and I'm still actually working on it a little bit, is I wanted to take this and make this into a horror experience. So as you can see, there are corridors that have light at the end of them, and some of them that are pitch black. Eventually, what you're gonna have to do is go through a few of them and basically try not to get scared or try not to trigger a monster. And this currently is basically quick level design to showcase what a room in Peach's Castle would be in Mario 64. Yeah.
This was. Me of that song,
it looks like a customized Minecraft.
Yeah.
What's that song? Millions of peaches for me, right? That song.
Oh no, I'm not too sure. Sadly, I'm not hip enough to know that one. And yeah, this was to showcase. This is to showcase an animation that I was just working on, and I imported it inside of a rigged zombie.
Wow. Yeah. So that's your walking animation?
Yeah, I was messing around with that one.
Oh wow, that's cool. Now we know where to get walking animations from.
That's really neat. I mean, I've seen many animations, and that one was AAA quality, top notch, because it's very, very difficult to animate, walking and stuff. I've seen FRaCK try to animate.
I tried to animate walking, and I haven't walked in 23 years, so it's pretty difficult.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like the animation took me. That one alone, I like a month or so. So it definitely is not the easiest process.
Oh yeah, it's very, very time consuming. Yeah, but you could see that you got everything down pat. If you don't do that, then there's things skip and frames, all over the place. Things look funky. So, congratulations on your walking animation.
Thanks.
So, we know it's such a good walking animation because we play lots of video games, and we can't go through any episode of this podcast without asking, our guests, do you play video games, which we assume you do, and what type of video games do you like to play currently, and maybe what are a couple from your past that you enjoy?
Well, currently I'm still stuck in Fortnite. I just been hooked on it to the point where I actually got little like analog stick like extenders for my PS4 controller and Xbox,
Oh, wow.
and now like I'm just before I could say I was decent. Now I could say I'm good. Like it's
That's awesome.
it's fun. It's definitely getting a lot more fun. But besides that, I am a huge fan of the fighting game scene, or the fighting game community rather. Street Fighter, Dragon Ball Z Fighter Z. Fighter Z is a game I haven't played, but I've watched tournaments, and I just like it's phenomenal seeing all the combos that people do. And of course, even though people complain and can argue that it's not a fighting game, Smash Brothers.
Oh, that's a fighting game.
Yeah.
And it forces you to fight your friends too.
Yeah.
If you lose, you fight your friends in the room too. So
Yeah, it's just like Uno.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what about games like Mortal Kombat or Injustice? Have you played those at all, or those are kind of fighting games?
I play him when I'm with my cousin because he's a huge Mortal Kombat fan. But me personally, or with my like friends from New Jersey, like they're huge MK fans. But me personally, I stick with like the Street Fighter genre.
That's the original, right?
To me, at least, yeah.
No, absolutely, no. It's good, and Fortnite too. I jumped on it the other day, and they have like those like hamster balls that you could ride around, and the hovercrafts. It's pretty neat. They're adding a lot of stuff to the game, and it's amazing how they've been able to sort of stand the test of time. Too. It's usually we thought that would be a fad, and it was in a way, but they're still very popular. They still have a lot of people playing. So.
Comment.
Anthony likes PUBG, but
Okay.
It's not.
Sorry.
It's not that I don't like Fortnite. It's just that I uninstalled it. That's all.
Gotcha.
So, FRaCK, any last words of wisdom? Since you're so much more wise since you don't play Fortnite.
That's true. Play PUBG and Apex Legends, obviously.
I'm not gonna lie. I never played PUBG. I've played Apex Legends, and I got really into it, and I got decent at it. But then when I went back to Fortnite, like the controls were somewhat different, and I just didn't know what the heck I was doing.
Oh.
So
Something about Fortnite, it's addictive.
What do the extenders do that you were discussing on like the joystick extenders? They just like make it easier to move or something?
Yeah. They're basically sorry, I was trying to find it right now. It's just basically just so it's easier to move, and it's just for your thumbs really. So it's just like easy, quick 1-2, bam.
That's it. So I guess maybe some people even use that need like an adaptive controller for like a disability or something. You would think, or is it kind of different?
It could help in some.
I could definitely see it. Someone making an adaptive like version for it for like but yeah, or I could also see it being helpful for a few of my students.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
That's cool, and that's video games is I've said before, for people with disabilities, as FRaCK said, we can't walk, and like we have so many opportunities to do things in video games that we can't do in real life, like as simple as dribble a basketball or drive a car. It's really neat, and these adaptive controls have made it very easy for anyone of any physical ability to be able to play, and it's really cool to see. And GameU, tying it back always to
Do you know the
GameU.
difference between real life and the video game world?
At this point, I don't know the difference.
No,
Frick?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. I'm gonna get you both some counseling.
And always to tie it back to GameU makes it very simple for anybody of any ability to learn how to make video games, and adapts to their skill level, whether you want to draw, whether you want to code, whether you want to model, animate, any of this stuff. We have experts that are able to do that and meet you at the skill level you're at, and then take you to a new one. And I know that FRaCK and Clint could certainly attest to that as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gentlemen, any last words? I know I said that already, and then I had a million last words, but
Yeah, I guess I have one last word for all of current students that watch this and all I guess aspiring students or students that would like to join. One word of somewhat wisdom, I guess, would be don't be afraid to fail. Yeah, no, definitely don't be afraid to fail. That's one of the main ways that you grow, just to see like how something didn't work, and then go grow above that. I've been telling this to if not, yeah, most if not all of my students at like since day one. Just don't be afraid to fail, and that's what all of my college professors told me. Like the faster you
Yeah.
fail, the faster you succeed. The faster you see what's wrong, and the faster you fix it.
Exactly.
So when it comes to video games, even when it comes to like small little things, just don't be afraid to fail. That's honestly the biggest advice that I could give anyone out there.
that was
Exactly.
awesome. We cannot top that, so we're not going to say anything.
Nah.
Thank you for watching Push to Accelerate. Clint, thank you for joining us, and we'll have
Yeah,
you
no
on
problem.
again in the
Thank you
future.
guys.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
and thanks. Till
Bye,
next time.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Take care.